Laying flat on our backs again today. And we're going to do our scan a little bit different, just that we're really going to be focusing on our breath when we do this scan today. It still didn't let her in. All right, everyone, let's start laying nice and flat and comfortable. Oh, it looks like it's letting her in this time. Okay. Now, as we take these breaths, we're going to take our focus first to our head and our jaw and our neck. So as you're breathing, just really pay attention and focus on that part of your body and think about how it feels today. And then we're going to take our awareness into our shoulders as well now. So now focusing on your head, neck, and shoulders as you take this breath. And now as you take this next breath, I want you to focus on your chest. And now just bring your hand, one of your hands or maybe even both of your hands up to your chest and lay them kind of just above your breasts on your chest bone there, and really focus on trying to bring your breath to this spot. So as you take the next breath, focus on bringing it underneath of your hands. Think of filling up the upper part of your chest. And now go ahead and move your hands down to below your breast, just to the bottom of your rib cage. And now as you take this next breath, focus on trying to bring the air to that spot in your chest, in your lower chest, in your upper abdomen. And now if it's comfortable for you to do it, you're going to take that hand and place it underneath of your low back, just your fingertips. It doesn't have to go far under, but just put your hand, if you can, a little bit under your back. And now as you focus on these next couple of breaths, I want you to think about bringing your breath down into your abdomen and then down into the back of your torso. So focusing on trying to bring your breath to that spot where your hand is. And then sliding your hand out from under your back, place it on your side, somewhere on your side. And you can either use the palm of your hand or the back of your hand, whichever is more comfortable for you. And take another breath and think of filling up into your side now, trying to bring that breath into your side. And now bring your hands onto your low abdomen, right above your pubic bone. And this time bring your breath to your low abdomen. Think of filling up the bottom of your belly with your breath. And just paying attention to how easy this breath is for you to move around and how easy it is for you to take those breaths. How much movement do you feel in your whole body as you're taking these breaths? And now go ahead and just lay your arms beside your body again, and we're going to start with our knees bent and our feet flat on the floor. And we're going to start with our flattens, and we're going to do them nice and fluid with our arches, but we'll start with the flatten. So a nice inhale first as we stay relaxed. And exhale, bringing your pubic bone towards your ribs and your ribs towards your pubic bone as you flatten your back to the floor. Holding for just a second. And exhale now, super slowly begin to release the contraction in your belly. Super slow and smooth. And then going right into arch. Well, a tilt actually, just a nice little tilt. So rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor now as your low back arches off the floor. And let's try to match a breath with this. So inhale as you do that little tilt. And now exhale slowly as you release it. Super, super slow. And at the end of that release, go right into flatten again. Bringing your pubic bone towards your ribs and your ribs to your pubic bone, flattening your back to the floor. Hold for just a moment. And super slowly begin to release now. Slowly releasing in your abdominals. As slow as you can. And at the end of that release, going right into tilt again, rolling your tailbone forward and down into the floor. Tilting your hips forward, just slightly arching your low back off the floor. Slowly with control now, begin to release your pelvis, slowly letting your low back float back down with control, back down to the floor. And at the end of that release, going into flatten one more time, bringing your pubic bone towards your ribs and your ribs to your pubic bone as you tighten your abdominals and press your low back into the floor. Hold for a moment. And super slowly begin to release. And at the end of this release, you're going to just relax for a second and rest. And now what I'd like you to do is bring your hands to your belly. Both hands is best, but if it's more comfortable to just have one, that works also. And kind of have your thumbs just below your rib cage and your fingertips down towards your pubic bone. So your fingers would actually almost be making like a diamond shape between your fingers. Yes, that's perfect, Auntie. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of our flattens, but we're going to really be concentrating on our abdominals as we do this. So first, staying nice and relaxed, you're going to take a nice inhale. And now as you begin to exhale, flatten your back to the floor. So exhale slowly. And think of bringing your pubic bone and your ribs towards each other and flattening your back to the floor. And you should be able to feel your abdominal muscles tightening underneath of your fingers and your hands. And once you've flattened and you're contracted, hold for just a second. And now super slowly begin to release and really pay attention to that, how it feels under your hands as you slowly, with control, release that contraction in your belly. Take a moment to rest, and then we're going to do that same thing again. So we're going to inhale in a relaxed position first. Exhale now as you tighten your abdominals, bringing your pubic bone towards your ribs towards your pubic bone, and flattening your back to the floor. Abdominals are nice and tight. Hold for just a second. And again, feel with your hands and your fingers. Notice the tightening of those muscles. And now super slowly begin to release the muscles, slow and controlled. And you can move your hands around too if you want to on your belly to try to feel those places where the muscles are releasing. And at the end of that release, take a moment to rest. And we're going to do that one again, only this time we're going to have you lift your head and chest just slightly at the same time. So inhale in a relaxed position again first. And exhale, contracting in your belly, bringing your pubic bone to ribs, ribs to pubic bone. And now tuck your chin and just lift your head and chest just a little bit, just a tiny bit off the floor. Feel how much more your abdominals have now tightened by lifting that head and chest. And now slowly begin to lower your head and chest first. Slowly lowering head and chest back to the floor. And then slowly release in the abdominals whatever is left of that contraction. And then take a moment to rest. Now go ahead and lay your hands beside you again. And this time we're going to do the flatten. We're going to add our arms into it. So we're going to roll the arms in. So your shoulders will gently be squeezing together and the back of your hands will be facing your body. So again, staying relaxed. We're going to start with an inhale first. Exhale, flattening your back to the floor, bringing your pubic bone and ribs towards each other, and now rolling your arms in towards your body so the back of your hands are touching probably your hips or your thighs. And then hold for just a moment, and now super slowly begin to release that. Slowly letting your hands and arms roll back, slowly releasing in your abdominals. And now we're going to go right into tilt. So rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor as you inhale, and now rolling your arms open so that your palms are facing up to the ceiling. Taking a nice inhale and hold for just a second. And now super slowly exhale, slowly with control, releasing the contraction in your back and slowly letting your arms roll back to palms facing down. Nice and slow and smooth. And then take an inhale here in your neutral position. And as you begin to exhale, bring your pubic bone and ribs towards each other, rolling your arms in now again until the back of your hands are touching your sides. Shoulders are squeezed together just gently in front of you. Hold for a moment. Super slowly. Releasing the contraction in your belly now, slowly releasing in your arms and shoulders. Slowly letting your arms roll back out from your body. And when you're ready to take an inhale, going right into tilt again with a nice inhale as you roll your tailbone forward and down to the floor, rolling your arms open, and think of pressing the back of your hands just gently into the floor if you can, just gently. And exhale, slowly release. And at the end of that one, take just a moment to rest. Auntie Linda, I'm going to unmute you for a second because I just want to ask you, do you have a pillow that you could maybe lay your hand and your forearm on?
Yeah, I do.
It looks like it's too small then because I couldn't even see it. Oh, yeah, that's too small. So just keep your hand on your chest because I feel like that you're putting a bit of strain into your shoulder by that hand laying on the floor. You don't look very comfortable to me, and I want you to stay comfortable. So just keep your hand on your stomach or your chest or wherever you need to. But maybe next class, like for tomorrow, maybe you should get like a really big pillow and try just having have your hand resting on that pillow because you might get a little more mobility in rolling it if it could be a bit more relaxed. Not sure, but might be worth a try. Okay, everybody, next what we're going to do is put those arms straight out beside you now. We're going to do our wash rag. So let's start by having both palms down to the floor, arms straight out to your sides, so your hands will be straight out from your shoulders, like a letter T. Yes. Palms are down on the floor. And then we're going to start by rolling our right arm up or right palm up and letting our knees drift to the left. So let's all start together with a nice inhale and nice and slow, rolling the right arm so that your palm is facing up as you slowly let your knees drift to the left. Other way, Auntie. There we go. Slowly to the left. At the same time, your head will be looking to the right. So you're looking towards that right palm. Only as far as you can go comfortably, and then super slowly reverse this movement. Slowly now begin to bring your knees up and over to the right as you slowly roll your right palm down and your left palm begins to roll upwards. Your head turns to the left as you're looking towards the left palm now. Remember to only go as far as you can comfortably and hold for just a moment, and then super slowly begin to reverse this again. So super slow and controlled. Now bringing the head back over to the right. As the left palm rolls down, the right palm rolls up, and the knees are slowly going over to the left. When you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, pause for a moment, and in that pause, just notice the lengthening that is happening in your back and your torso as you're doing this movement. Super slowly now, reverse to the other side. Slowly begin to bring your knees up and over, letting them drift to the right as your left palm rolls down, your right palm is rolling down, your left palm is rolling up, and your head is turning to the left. Slowly with control, reverse that movement again. Slowly bringing the knees up. Slow and smooth, rolling the left palm down, slowly rolling now the right palm upwards, turning your head slowly to the right. Super slowly, when you're ready, reverse it one more time. Slowly, bringing the knees up and over, letting the knees drift now to the right. Right palm rolls down, left palm rolls up, head is turning to the left. Letting your hips and feet come off of the floor if they need to, remembering always to stay in your comfort zone. And slowly with control, one more time, switching. Slowly bringing your knees up and over now to the left as you slowly Slowly roll the left palm down as you slowly roll your right arm and palm facing up to the ceiling. Head is looking to the right. Pause for just a moment when you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, and then slowly with control, come back to your center position. So now we're going to do the letter X, which is the one where our legs are now going to go long, and your feet are going to be about shoulder width apart, and your arms are going to go along the floor up above your body, but they're still on the floor. So they're up above your head, but on the floor. So your body is making the letter X position. I'm going to show you guys the picture in case anyone is struggling with that. Just a second. Sorry, I thought I had it fast. Here we go. This picture right here. So legs apart, arms apart, above your head. We're going to start by lengthening and reaching the right arm. Sometimes I like to just wiggle my fingertips just a little bit as I lengthen that arm. And remember, we don't want to be stretching it. We just want to lengthen it. So staying in comfort and just lengthening it a little bit. And now super slowly release the lengthen. Nice and slow. And now you're going to reach the left arm. So wiggle those fingertips just a little bit and lengthening the left arm. And now super slowly release the lengthen. And now I want you to think of lengthening and reaching your left leg. So think of pointing your toes down to the floor and lengthening the left leg. And now super slowly release that lengthen. And now moving to the right leg. So pointing your right toe and think of lengthening the right leg. And holding it for just a moment. And then super, super slow, releasing that lengthen. Now just pause for a moment and we're going to repeat that. But this time, as you lengthen, I want you to notice what's happening to the opposite side. So starting with the right arm again, wiggle those fingers and think of lengthening that right arm up above your head along the floor, still on the floor. Notice that as you lengthen the right shoulder, your left shoulder presses down. Now slowly release that right arm, but pay attention to the release that's happening in the left shoulder as well. And now lengthening the left arm again, reaching those fingertips, lengthening the left arm, reaching it along the floor. And notice what's happening to your right shoulder as you lengthen the left shoulder and arm. Slowly now release the lengthen in the left and release in the right as you're releasing the lengthening of that left arm. And now moving back into your legs. So first with the left leg, pointing your toe, lengthening the left leg. Notice that as you lengthen that left leg, your right hip shortens. So you should notice a little bit of a tightening happening on that right side as you're lengthening on the left side. Super slowly now, as you're releasing that lengthen, pay attention to the right side as you're releasing. As you slowly let that right hip come back to relaxed, the left leg comes back to neutral. Pause. And then we'll lengthen on the right leg now. So pointing the right toes and lengthening the right leg, notice the shortening that's happening on the left side of your body. So the left hip is now coming up. Hold for just a second and now super slowly releasing the contraction, releasing the lengthening in the right leg as you release in the left side, as you release that left hip and let it come back to neutral. Good. And when you finish that one, without rushing, you're going to bend your knees again and bring your feet back to flat and standing on the floor. And bring your hands either to behind your head or your ears or up onto your shoulders, because we're going to do our arch and curl now. So wherever those arms are comfortable. And let's start with a nice inhale all together. Inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor. Think of pressing your shoulder blades down and drawing them towards your tailbone gently. Exhale now as you super slowly release the contraction in your back. As slow and smooth as you can. And then going into flatten. Bringing your pubic bone and your ribs towards each other. And bring your elbows together and gently lift your head and chest into a soft curled position. Hold that curl for just a moment and now super slowly begin to release. Slowly lowering your head back down to the floor. Once your head is resting on the floor, then slowly begin to open your elbows. Super slow with control. And then take just a moment to rest. We'll repeat that one again. Inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor. Think of pressing your shoulder blades down and drawing them towards your tailbone, and tilt your head back on this one a little bit. Hold for just a second, and now super slowly as you exhale, slowly release the tilt in the back of your neck. Slowly with control, releasing in your pelvis and your back. And at the very end of that release, going into flatten as you bring your pubic bone and ribs towards each other, bring your elbows together and gently lift your head and chest into that soft curl position. Hold for just a moment and then super, super slow. Slowly lowering your head back down to the floor. Once your head is resting on the floor, then slowly with control, letting your elbows open. When you finish that one, take just a moment to rest. And we'll repeat that one again. Inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor. Press your shoulder blades down and think of drawing them towards your tailbone as you tilt your head back. Hold for just a moment and now exhale. Super, super slowly releasing the contraction in your back. Slowly releasing in the back of your neck. And then going right into flatten, bringing the pubic bone and ribs together, bring the elbows together, and lift your head and chest. Hold in your soft curled position for just a moment. And then super, super slowly with control, begin to lower your head back down to the floor. Once your head is resting on the floor, then slowly lowering the elbows. When you finish that one, without rushing, you're going to go back into your body scan position. So however you were at the beginning of class today, if you had your legs long and your hands and arms beside you, then you'll go back to that position. I'll start with those nice deep breaths again. And focusing on our head, neck, and shoulders. Bring your awareness to that part of your body and really be aware of the breath coming into your upper chest now as you take this next breath. And try to remember how that felt at the beginning of class today. And as you take the next breath, see if you can notice any differences in movement or ease of your breath. And now bring your hand or hands, one or two hands, up to the top of your chest, so just above your breasts. And try to bring your breath under your hand. And as you're doing this, compare it to the breath you took at the beginning of class when you had your hand there. And then move your hand or hands down below your breast to the bottom of your rib cage. And as you take your next breath, bring your awareness here and see if you can bring your breath filling up your lower rib cage, your upper abdomen, underneath of your hand. Try to focus your breath and bring it to that spot. And then compare how that feels now compared to when we started. And then bringing your hand under your low back again. And as you take this next breath, try to bring that breath into your low abdomen and into your hand, wherever you have your hand placed. Bring your breath to that spot, filling your body up with your air. And compare how that feels now to how it felt at the beginning of class. Is it easier for you to bring your awareness to this breath? Do you feel more movement in your torso with some of these muscles being released? And then bring your hand to your low abdomen now, right above your pubic bone. And taking your next breath, try to fill up the bottom of your abdomen. Bring your breath underneath of your hand. And same thing, compare. How does it feel now? Are you able to bring more breath into this part of your body now? And super slowly, when you're ready, you're going to roll to your side and come up to sitting. And we only have a few minutes, but I want to see how you guys feel. But I wanted to do more exercises than that, but I was super distracted with Natalka trying to get in. I don't know what was happening. She never did get in. And we were texting each other too, so I was a little distracted, so I apologize for that. How do you guys feel? Did you notice a difference in the movement of your breath and your body compared to before and after? Does anyone have anything interesting to share?
I did. I noticed I could direct the breath easier.
Excellent. And Auntie,